Sarah picked up the girl-shaped robot and found it surprisingly light. She carried it sideways, her arm around its delicate waist. At home in her room, Sarah set the girl robot down on the floor. It looked a little tarnished and dusty, as if it had been in the trash heap for a while. Sarah went to the kitchen and got a rag and a bottle of cleaner that was supposed to be safe for metal surfaces. She sprayed and wiped the front of the robot inch by inch from head to toe. The shininess made it even more beautiful. As Sarah got behind the robot to clean the other side, she noticed an on-off switch at the small of its back. After she finished wiping it down, she turned the switch position to on. Nothing happened. Sarah turned away, slightly disappointed. The robot was still cool to have, even though it didn't do anything. But then a rattling sound made Sarah turn back around. The robot was shaking all over, like it was either going to rev up or break down entirely. Then it went still. Sarah resigned herself once more to the idea that the robot wasn't going to do anything. Until it did. The robot's waist pivoted, making the upper body move. It slowly raised its arms, then put them down. Its head turned to face Sarah, seeming to look at her with its big green eyes.
"Hello, friend,"
it said in a slightly metallic-sounding version of a young girl's voice.
"My name is Eleanor."
Sarah knew the thing couldn't be talking to her personally, but it felt like it was. "Hi," she whispered, feeling a little silly about entering into a conversation with an inanimate object. "I'm Sarah."
"Nice to meet you, Sarah,"
the girl robot said. Whoa, how had it said her name back to her? It must have some pretty sophisticated built-in computer or something, Sarah thought. It was the kind of thing her brother might know about. He was in college, majoring in computer science. The robot took a few surprisingly smooth steps towards Sarah.
"Thank you for rescuing me and cleaning me up, Sarah,"
Eleanor the robot said.
"I feel as good as new."
She gave a pretty, feminine twirl, her short skirt billowing. Sarah's mouth was hanging open. Was this thing capable of actual conversation, of actual human thought? You're welcome?" she said.
"Now,"
Eleanor said, placing her cold, hard little hand on Sarah's cheek.
"you tell me what I can do for you, Sarah."
Sarah stared at the robot's blankly pretty face. "What do you mean?"
"You did something nice for me. Now I must do something nice for you."
She cocked her head like an adorable puppy.
"What do you want, Sarah? I want to make your wishes come true."
"Nothing really," Sarah said. It wasn't the truth, but really, how could this thing make her wishes come true?
"Everybody wants something,"
Eleanor said, brushing Sarah's hair away from her face.
"What do you want, Sarah?"
Sarah took a deep breath. She looked at the images of models and actresses and pop stars on her walls. She might as well say it. Eleanor was a robot. She wouldn't judge her. "I want," she whispered, feeling embarrassed. "I want to be beautiful." Eleanor clapped her hands.
"To be beautiful. What a wonderful wish. But it is a large wish, Sarah, and I am petite. Give me 24 hours, and I will have a plan to start making this wish come true."
"Okay, sure," Sarah said, but she didn't believe 1 minute that this robot had the ability to transform her looks. She couldn't even quite believe that she was having a real conversation with it. When Sarah woke up the next morning, Eleanor was standing in the corner of the room, still and lifeless as the other decorative objects in Sarah's room. No more alive than the stuffed Freddy Fazbear she had on her bed since she was 6. Maybe the conversation with Eleanor had just been a particularly vivid dream. That afternoon, when Sarah got home from school, Eleanor pivoted her waist, raised and lowered her arms, and moved smoothly over to Sarah.
"I made you something, Sarah,"
she said. Eleanor put her hands behind her back and produced a necklace. It was a chunky silver chain with a large cartoonish silver heart pendant dangling from it. It was unusually pretty. "You made this for me?" Sarah said.
"I did,"
Eleanor said.
"I want you to make me a promise. I want you to put this necklace on and never ever take it off. Do you promise me you'll keep it on always?"
"I promise," Sarah said. "Thank you for making it for me. It's beautiful."
"And you will be beautiful too,"
Eleanor said.
"Since your wish is so big, Sarah, I can only grant it a little at a time. But if you wear this necklace and keep it on, each morning when you wake up, you'll be a little more beautiful than the day before."
Eleanor held out the necklace, and Sarah took it. "Okay, thanks," Sarah said, not believing Eleanor for a minute. But she put on the necklace anyway, because it was pretty.
"It looks good on you,"
Eleanor said.
"Now, in order for the necklace to work, you have to let me sing you to sleep."
Like now? Sarah asked. Eleanor nodded. It's early, though. Mom isn't even home from work yet.
For the necklace to work, you have to let me sing you to sleep,
Eleanor repeated. Well, I guess I could take a little nap, Sarah said, not entirely sure that she was already asleep and dreaming.
Get into bed,
Eleanor said, moving in her smooth stroll to the side of Sarah's bed. Even though she was a robot, everything about Eleanor was so feminine and lovely. Sarah pulled back the covers and got into bed. Eleanor sat at the edge of the bed and stroked Sarah's hair with her cold little hand. She sang,
go to sleep, go to sleep, go to sleep, my sweet Sarah. When you wake, all your dreams will come true.
Before Eleanor sang the last note, Sarah was asleep. Sarah was usually groggy and grumpy in the morning. But this morning, she woke up feeling great. Eleanor, she noticed, was standing in the corner of the room, in her inanimate object pose. Somehow, Eleanor being there made Sarah feel safe, as if Eleanor was standing guard. Maybe Eleanor was just an inanimate object, Sarah thought as she sat in bed. But then she reached up and touched the silver heart pendant hanging just below her throat. If the necklace was real, the talk she had with Eleanor must be real too. As she moved her hand away from the necklace, she noticed something else. Her arm. Both her arms, actually. They were slimmer and more toned somehow. And their skin, which was usually sallow, was healthy and glowing. The dry patches of skin she was prone to had disappeared, and both arms were soft and smooth to the touch. Even her usually chapped elbows were as soft as kittens' noses. And her fingers. As she touched her arms with them, they felt different too. She stretched out her hands to inspect them. Her once stubby fingers were long, elegant, and tapered. Her formerly short, knobby nails were now longer than her fingertips, and shaped in perfect ovals. Amazingly, they were also painted a gorgeous soft pink, each nail like a perfect rose petal. Sarah ran to the mirror to give herself a full inspection. Same mix and match face, nose and body, but now with a perfect pair of arms and hands. She thought of Eleanor's words from last night.
Each morning when you wake up, you'll be a little more beautiful than the day before.
Sarah was definitely a little more beautiful. Was this the way it was going to work? That every morning a different part of her would be transformed? She darted to the corner where Eleanor was standing. I love my new arms and hands. Thank you, she said to the unmoving robot. So, am I going to wake up to one new part until I'm totally transformed? Eleanor didn't move. Her face kept the same painted-on expression. Well, I guess I'll just have to wait and see, huh? Sarah said. Well, thanks again. She stood on tiptoe and kissed the robot on its cold, hard cheek, and then hurried to the kitchen for breakfast.